Welcome to AcademiChain project demo. Uh, this is the project for Masters in Advanced Computing. I will talk about the application a little bit later. I would like to start from the section how to start actually the application locally. So for that is required to pull one of the repository named MSC local dev. That repository actually contain Docker Compose file, which will actually start the service locally or in a staging environment if that's required. It's got the settings for all the containers required to start the application and also environment files. Those environment variables will be applied to particular containers if it's required. Like for example here, there's a quite nice set of environment variables which actually is going to be taken from that file or the other file like env.prod. It's depending what command we're going to use to run the application with Docker Compose. So in the README file, there's like a little manual how to start it. We need to copy that command, paste into the terminal and run it. That application will start AcademiChain and will apply those environment variables from .env.dev file in that case. So let me just describe you what's inside that Docker Compose file. Basically, in the beginning here is like a set of services which can be reusable. They are applied to various containers, like for example to the DB schema creation or to apply migrations. Here is the important part, the services. It will start a set of services. First service to start is going to be Postgres database with required settings from env file, and then actually those services below. We can actually check that one here. They depend on actually Postgres container, so they're waiting for that container to start, and here is the health check for that container, and when the health check is alright, then that set of services will start. Those services here will actually run script which is going to create database schemas for the application. That script can be found here, SQL create schema. Basically, it will connect with the instance of the Postgres and it will run that SQL query. So create schema if not exist. And that's it basically. So then when this one is ready, it will run a set of database migration containers, right? For the core services, it will pull the appropriate images from Docker Hub. Those images and the other images are created automatically when the pull request is for that given repository is merged with the master branch. It will actually start the GitHub workflow, and the workflow will build database migration and the application database migration image. So that one, depending which service we're going to actually use and which pull request we are merging for which service, and also it will build the image of the master branch and it will push it to Docker Hub with with the tag latest, and it is also not possible, but it automatically let me just show you here. Let me just start one of the services, maybe item API. So here in GitHub workflows, there's like a set of YAML files, and those files actually will do something. And this one will, when we pushing code to the branch, that workflow will actually build image of that service with the tags latest branch and the tag which actually is created here, the tag is basically the part of the branch name. So let me show you like branches here. So those are the branches here, branch names 001, 02, 03, 04, 05, etc. So basically it will get the branch basically number from the branch name. So in that case 010 or in that case 012 and extract it here with the code, and that's going to be tag. So for example, the tag is going to be my image, and the tag will be, for example, 012, right, or 010. That's going to be the tag. So I can go there then to Docker Compose to the environment files, and I can check tag, which tag I want to apply. I want to apply, for example, tag 010. So it will use not the latest image, but tag 010. In that case, going to use for all the services, but I can go to specific service and I can basically specify which tag should be pulled. Here is using the latest one, but I can go here and say I want, for example, tag 010 or 023, something like that, or 123 is depending what was the branch name, and it will pull that image and apply and run that container based on that image. So here we have database migrations. Database migrations images contain a liquid base, the service which actually will start the migrations, and the migration files. Basically, those files in each backend service, there's like DB directory with changelog, so with all the migrations, and those migrations for the item service is going to be applied with there's a core, basically with that Docker service. It will apply those migrations because they are actually stored, embedded in the image. So when the migrations are done, successfully applied, it will also start the core services. Each core service depends on the its own database migration file. So it's waiting when the migration is applied and then starting the service. So we have core service, we have user service, item service, and of course UI. Those services going to be started as well. So let me run that Docker Compose command. Let me show you first, like there's nothing in the Docker Compose. I have just two containers which are not running now. Those are Minikube and the other one used to build Docker images for different architectures. So they're not like related to AcademiChain, doesn't matter. Just wanted to show you like the Docker basically is empty. There's no AcademiChain containers inside running. So let me just start that command. It will pull the images if the images is not present, and it will start the okay, I want to show you that one, the service error. I will go back to it in 1 second. So I'm waiting for those containers to start. So I can see like core schema has been applied. Schema already exists because I had that instance of Postgres locally already. So it does not going to recreate schema if the schema exists. Actually, is a good thing. So we don't want to cancel or remove the schema if the schema is there. So after schema, the database migration containers should start. So actually here we are inside of one of them. So that's the UI. Maybe I'll show you like, for example, items service. Where is the UI? Users, items migrations, because this one has 7 migration files, right? So we are here in item. There's like 7 files there. That's 7 migration that's been applied. Where is it? Basically, so like I said, it's using a liquid base and is applying those files. 7 has been applied, so everything is fine here. And then when everything is right, it's starting the core services. So this, for example, item service started. So basically those are logs from Kafka, right? Because there's a Kafka used in that project, so is actually giving me some preview of the Kafka settings and some Bootstrap servers which is going to be used for that instance. Okay, I wanted to show you that actually thing because it's kind of important. It seems to be error, but it is error, but that was the purpose of it, to show you. When we are starting the application, or when there's like issue with the service, that message is going to be visible, like service error, item service not found, because the item service is like the most like decent, like serious service. Quite it takes quite long to start. It's not like seconds, it's like, I don't know, it's like maybe 20-30 seconds, because it's doing quite a lot of things, like starting getting connection with Kafka and all those little things. So when the service, one of the backend service is not available, that message is going to be visible in UI. So it will not like kind of start the doing anything with UI, nothing serious, until the service is actually available. Because if we go to actually UI project, probably that's the one. If we go to UI in the index file, where was it? Index actually is doing that check service health, right? So it's on the beginning of that file index. Of course, like I said in report, this one is intercepting the controller and view from the URL, and that file here, check service health, is actually checking if those services are available. Each service got like health check endpoint. So it should be here, like health controller. It's got like health check endpoint. So the UI is actually using curl to curl that endpoint for its service, and it's checking if there's like responses are right, and of course status is okay. And if it's not, it's showing the message like there's a service error. But when the health check is passing, so it's starting application. So let's click it again. So we don't have that message anymore because the service is running. Let me show you how the AcademiChain works. So basically that's the landing page. We can sign in. I prepared test user for that, for the purpose of testing. So the name of that user is test user, and the password is password. We can log in, and in the moment of login for the first time, the service will assign username. Like I said in the report, the random username is assigned to the user, so the real identity of the user is hidden. So actually this user got name thin prawn because is using like adjective and animal name, and it's funny name, it's thin prawn. Yeah, we don't like thin prawns, we like the king prawns, isn't it? Anyway, sorry for the vegetarians, but I'm just talking about the prawn personality, not about eating them. No, never. I would never say that. So yeah, that user got named thin prawn. So if I sign out, and if I sign in as for example John Doe, the password for John Doe 01 is password 123. So this one got the name Orange Rainbow Trout, right? So the usernames are actually quite cool sometimes, sometimes funny, which is actually nice. And maybe we've noticed like this user got different icons. So let me just log in as test user again. let me log in as a test user, and both users have different icons. Those icons are actually assigned to user. There's I got few icons then just for the demo purpose, like 7 icons. So there's a numbers from 1 to 7, and when user account is created, the application is actually drawing one number between 1 and 7 and assigning that that number to a user, and of course number is assigned to icon, right? So the user have like different icons in that case, but that's not important, but it's nice, it's like accent. So yeah, so let's go back to like maybe test user, and let me show you, demonstrate how to, for example, actually what features are available in AcademiChain. So if I'm clicking here on AcademiChain, I can see like there's no questions because I started the fresh instance of AcademiChain with Docker Compose. There's no question, there's no messages, connections, the user have no friends yet, but we're going to fix that. So there's no transaction, and we can go to account and we can preview user account related links, like for example question, user got no questions, wallet. So if I press the get my keys, we can see the wallet keys of that user. When the user account was created, the core service has sent the message to blockchain to generate a new wallet, and details of that wallet, so address, so public key and private key, has been returned and assigned to that user. So that user got that wallet like once assigned, and it should stay with him like forever. Public key is of course public, can be shown to other people because other people might send some tokens to that address, but the private one should be always hidden. As we know, the user should not display that key or share that key with anyone. This is very dangerous. Now it's possible to intercept his wallet if we got both keys. So let's go back to questions. So sorry, what's else in the account? Connections. So like I said, no friends yet, no friends, and account, no messages yet, but we're going to fix that, like I said. Let's go to questions, because that's the main idea of AcademiChain, to ask questions and getting answers. So let me just prepare like question to ask. I have the list of questions somewhere, just bear with me. I wasn't that really 100% prepared probably to record that demo. Recording is very hard. It's not that easy. Okay, I got the questions, so let's ask question. Let me copy the question title. So how do I implement a neural network from scratch in Python? And we want to also add some question body. And here is a lot of related questions. The system is trying to find if there are any questions like related to that one. We don't have any related questions yet. Those questions, related questions, going to be found by comparing the vectors, question vectors, with other vectors saved in a system, in a database. There's no, where's the refresh? So there's no embeddings yet saved, but when we add question, we will come back here and we will check if the embedding has been created and if we got the vector for that given question. So we can add tags, so Python, right, and neural networks, and let's add some other tags, AI, and here the college is already assigned to a user. So if we go to key clock for that application, if we go to key clock, so all the students users data is actually first saved in key clock, so is added to key clock. So as you can see, I have like few users here, even myself. So the users are added to key clock. And if I go to test user, for example, I go to his attributes, I can see like the college of that user is Birbeck, right? So if I go also to my account, or maybe go to John Doe, let's see if John Doe is actually from UCL, so because I've added like different college to demonstrate like it's possible to add users from different colleges. And right, so the user is created first in Keycloak, and when the user logs in to the AcademiChain for the first time, the data of that user is pulled from Keycloak. So if it is actually checking like, does the user account exist in Keycloak, and if the password is valid, and if it's valid, if the user credentials are valid, it will issue JWT token, and the token will allow to actually log into the system and navigate through protected pages, right? So if we go here, we can see like this user is actually Birkbeck University of London student, and he can actually pick a module related to that question, which is actually from Birkbeck. So let me just scroll here. So if I start typing, like for example, AD, so I have advances in data management, or AP, so I have applied machine learning. I can pick applied machine learning, which is related to that question, and also to demonstrate how the NLP service works. Basically, NLP service is a Python service, it's a like separate microservice, which actually validates if the user inserting like correct kind of text. So the text should be valid English text, and it should not contain any inappropriate words. So no bad words in the question title or body. Users can't use like bad words. So for the purpose of that demo, let me just write bad word, crap, and I will try to add that question. Hopefully we can see like message like there's something wrong with the question. Yeah, that works. When the validation happens, the UI sends the request to NLP service. I will start Postman and I'll demonstrate that endpoint. So that's the NLP service, and basically it will hit that endpoint, validate question, and for example, we have that crap word. It should, sorry, let's see, let's use prod to validate. Hopefully it's going to work. Yep. I got the response. The toxicity score for the title is very high, is 77.3%. So the UI will not allow to pose that question because 77% is quite a lot. If I remove that and I will hit that endpoint, I should see different score. Yeah, so it's totally neutral question. The toxicity score is like four places after the comma, so it's quite cool and neutral question. If I use different bad words, of course, I don't want to use it here because it's recorded. So yeah, so let's use crap. Crap is gonna give us like very high toxicity score, and the English is valid, of course. So yeah, the question maybe doesn't look bad, but it's going to be rejected because of that toxicity score. There's also different things that NLP service does. We create embedding. So I have the question title here. When I press send, I should see the embedding, so like vector for that text. So that's the vector, and that vector is going to be saved in the MongoDB database, but I'll show that in a minute. Hopefully I won't forget. So we use the bad word, and the user see like warning here like is your question title and body valid English and has no inappropriate words? Please check if everything is fine and try again. So we will try to remove that bad word, which is terrible, and we will press submit. Now everything should be fine. Yes, the question has status pending, but actually it's not. There's a bug. I need to fix it. Actually, status active automatically because after the validation, successful validation, questions got status active. Sorry for that misleading information. I just need to go to UI and fix that. Hopefully status is pending. The status is pending. So maybe I'll fix that now. Sorry for that. Let me just, the status is pending. Interesting. Anyway, let's fix that later. Sorry for that. It's not the purpose of the demo to fix all the bugs. So yeah, so everything is fine. The question has been added. So if I go to questions here, I can see the question. If I go to user questions, the question is there. If I go to the other user account and I go to questions, I can see the question. The orange rainbow trout can see the question. So now we can add the answer. So let's, for example, let's copy that random text used for testing purposes, and let's submit answer. Has been submitted. So I can go here again and I can answer myself to that question, or we can create like dialogue. User can have like discussion under the question. Yeah, so we can see the questions. So the question and answers here. User can have like a dialogue, and I'm the author of that answer, so I can't see that button select best answer. That's very actually important button. Let me just add another answer by the same user, like answer number 2 by orange trout. If I refresh, I can see 3 answers, 2 answers from trout, and of course different users can add different answers. And for example, I like one of the answers, right? So for example, answer number 2 actually is correct answer. It helps me a lot. I can select that answer as the best answer. So I can see here like a hint, select as best answer and give tokens to author. Of course, we're not gonna give them tokens. We don't have tokens. The actually blockchain has got several millions of tokens storing them. So the actual blockchain will reward that user with tokens. At this moment of the demonstration is 2 tokens for correct answer. So if I go to Trout's account and I refresh, the number of tokens he has is 0, even though he gave 2 answers. So if I go back here and I'll select that answer as the best answer, I can see here like indication like you're going to choose that as the best answer, that you can reverse that process. User is going to be rewarded with tokens, So are you sure you want to do that? Of course, we are happy. We have selected that answer as the best answer. So as we can see, we can't pick other answer as the best answer. That is impossible now because we have already selected that answer as the best answer. And also here is like a little bar, and we can see like that question belongs to me, so is my question, and the best answer has been selected. So now if I go to Trout account, and Trout was the author of that the best answer, if I refresh his tokens, I can see like he was rewarded with 2 tokens, right? So it seems to be work fine. So let's go to Trout's account. Let me just make that bigger. Let's go to Trout account, and I can see the Trout's transaction. I can see in Trout's transaction, he's got 2 tokens for the best answer, and that's the transaction ID. So we're going to need that ID in a minute. So the ID is D267. And did we actually get those tokens in blockchain, or is just in AcademiChain? We can check that easily. For the purpose of testing the blockchain, I prepared application called wallet search. We can take Mr. Trout's wallet public address, so he can take it, or we can take it if we know. We can check that it's not like secret information. We can copy that wallet address. We can go back here, paste that here, and press search. So as we can see, let's go to Throat account and transaction. That transaction is D267, and that's the transaction D267. And actually, those information are taken from the blockchain. They're not taken from AcademiChain. They are just querying the blockchain for that specific wallet address. So we see like the transactions got two tokens of reward. Output is like actually is here is like receiving the tokens, and input when is input. So we are sending the tokens. Our account, our wallet is like input wallet for the transaction. So it's actually giving the tokens, not receiving. So yeah, the first transaction 0 is actually transaction created in the blockchain when the wallet is created, right? Because any action on blockchain is a transaction. So creating a wallet is also a transaction, but there's no money for it. Nobody was rewarded. The amount for that amount of tokens for the transaction was 0. And there's also different application here that I make for the purpose of testing. I named the application Item Exchanger. So users can, of course, earn tokens in AcademiChain, and they can spend them somewhere. Like I said in my report, they can, for example, go to Item Exchanger and they can purchase things here. For example, I want to buy it, right? So I go to homepage. I found something interesting. For example, super book. Yeah, the book. I want to buy that book from the user. User that doesn't need that book anymore. He wants to get rid of it. He doesn't want to throw away, so he might exchange that book for tokens. So the Nifty mod, Funky Baboon, Nifty mod want to sell the book. We can go and preview that item. That's the book. That's the description. And I'm deciding to buy it, so exchanging for token. So I'm giving my name. My name was Orange Trout, Rainbow Trout, and Academy Blockchain public key. Oh, for that purpose, actually, we are using both keys. So I have to paste in my public key and also the private key. And now I can purchase the item, but I got just 2 tokens, so I won't be able now to buy it. So I'm getting the information, not enough tokens to purchase the item, because that application doesn't go to AcademiChain and doesn't query the AcademiChain's database. It's querying the blockchain. Actually, I can test that. I can copy public key. I can go to blockchain and check the wallet, create wallet. So that's one of the endpoints. Like I said before, that endpoint will create the wallet. So we create 2 keys, public and private, and we'll initiate the wallet with balance equals to 0. I can check the wallet balance. So that endpoint, I can remove that address and I can paste in the Mr. Trout's wallet address. So I can, oh, something is wrong, it's not found. I think I know why, because we use probably non-prod. Yeah, sorry, I use a different environment. I'm not using the production blockchain. I was actually querying the production one, but I'm using for the demo, I'm not using the production one. I'm using the non-production version of the blockchain, because I have two instances of blockchain running, one for prod and one for staging environments. So yeah, the Mr. Trout's got 2 tokens. So let's go to Mr. Trout account and ask another question. So we can prove like his number of tokens are actually increasing. So that's another question. He wants to do something with Java optimization. So I prepared those questions before, and we can add tags, Java performance, and actually Mr. Trout is from UCL, so principles of programming, so he will actually sorry, actually we're doing that wrong, because we need to add the question to by that user Brown. So Mr. Trout can respond and he can get tokens. Sorry for the misleading information here. Java and performance, and that's going to be software programming 3. Let's add the question. Should be there, question. So Mr. Trout can go now and he can reply. All right. So I don't know if you notice here, that was quite fast. So when I access that question, I have here related questions, because I've added 2 questions and 2 questions are kind of related. It shouldn't show the same question as a related one, but we can fix that soon. Okay, so we got the answer, and I like that answer again. Select answer. So Mr. Trout's got now 4 tokens. So we can go to API testing tool Postman, and we can query blockchain, and we can see like that wallet's got 4 tokens, right? So yeah, and let's add another question. So maybe we can purchase that lovely book to demonstrate how that works. So here, and here, and some tags, random tags. Sorry for using random, but we are in a rush. Advanced database management. Okay, we have the 3rd question, and Mr. Troll's gonna be lucky to give the best answer again. Let's don't start with dot. I like that answer, right? So he got 6 tokens. So now let's go to item exchanger and let's try to buy that book. Done. Item purchased, right? Item sold. So if I go to item exchanger, that book has the icon here, like a label sold. We can't buy it again. It has been sold. And if I go to Mr. Trout account, we can see like he's got 1 token because he spent his tokens. If I will test it through the Postman, I should see hopefully 1 here, because the book price was 5. Right, so everything is working fine. The blockchain is working. I can go here and find transactions, so I can basically find that specific transaction. Let's get blocks from node 1. So here I can preview the entire blockchain, what's happening on that blockchain. I was testing it before, so it's got lots of transactions. I didn't want to clean it, but it's very easy to clean the blockchain, basically restart all the nodes from scratch. But I was testing it heavily, so that's why it's got quite few transactions there. And yeah, that's it. And maybe we can go and find Mr. Trout's wallet. So yeah, so we got Mr. Trout's wallet here. The wallet was created. He was rewarded with 2 tokens, again with 2 tokens, again with 2 tokens, right? And the amount of token was 6, but now is 1 because he spent the money to purchase the book. All right, so that's the demo of rewarding, and I think it's working fine. I like it, and as we can see, we have already 3 questions. And let me demonstrate to you how the searching works. For example, I have questions related to Java. I can type Java here, and it will find me all the questions related to Java, but that's the actually searched using the query like clause. So it will actually run SQL query which is working, which looks like that. So it will find everything that contains Java. But if I click the question, and here in the related question I can see actually the embeddings, but I can search only for those terms only from my college. If I'm not interested, for example, with that guy who was from UCL, I just want from Birkbeck, I just want to see the questions from my college, so I can select that one. And I can also what was the name of that user? I can also search for users. Prawn. I can search for sorry, like that, Prawn. So if there's a user with name Java, it will show questions and users. But if I search for Prawn, I can see the user Prawn, right? And I can see all his questions. But let me just show you the embeddings. So I'm now in the preview of the MongoDB database, and that database stores the embeddings, the vectors for the questions. And as we know, we have 3 questions. We ask 3 questions in AcademiChain. So I can see those questions here, right? One was related to Python and neural networks. So that's the question. That's the question ID from AcademiChain. So we can easily map, we can easily create like URLs to map that title to question ID. And here's important thing, is actually the array of 384 values. And actually that's the dense vector created by NLP service. So like we went to that service before, NLP, if we press create embedding, we can see that vector, and that's exactly what's happening here. The service is creating the vector for that question and stores vector in that collection here. And when we actually add a new question, so Java, and I start typing something here, maybe I'll try to find something more ambitious than that, like this, and the body. Oh, I have already the suggestions, because actually it's taking that when I switch the text edit box, when I'm switching here from here to here, I can see those embeddings are actually embedding for that title is created for me for the service, and the service sends that to NLP service and is trying to find similar vectors, and it comes back with related questions. At the moment I have just 3 questions in the database, so it's returning all of them, right? And they not like 100% matched, because when there's not enough questions, it will return all of them. But if, for example, I have 100 questions, I'm not gonna get any 3 random or 5 random suggestions. Actually going to get those related ones, right? Those nearest vectors kind of is going to be introduced to me here. So when we ask in the question, the suggestion is there, like we see here. Or if we go to question and we click particular question, those suggestions are here. Maybe those answers can help the students to find the answer he needs. Or anytime he can goes to one of those questions, he can say, oh, actually somebody asks similar question, and I can go to that question, and actually I can read those answers, so maybe they might help me, right? So that was the idea of it. And I would like to demonstrate how the message exchanging works, because user have ability to send messages between each other. Like we saw, like that user actually rainbow throat bought the book. Yeah, so that user bought the book from me. So I can go now and I can search for rainbow throat. Oh, let me out. Test user password. I was logged out because the JWT token actually expired, so I was logged out. So I can see Rainbow Trout, and what I can do, I can actually add him to my friends. Oh, one more thing is rank. The rank of that user is 3, right? Because Rainbow Trout gave 3 correct, not correct, but 3 the best answers. Three answers of Rainbow Trout has been selected as the best answer. So for each answer, his rank is growing by 1. If he's going to give another best answer, his rank is gonna grow again. So yeah, John Doe. So let me search for prawn now, and thin prawn's rank is 0, so that user has rank 0. So he didn't give any answer, and that's the element of that gamification mentioned in the report. Like users are trying to get higher and higher rank to be like recognized as trusted users, like users who got the knowledge, for example, right? So rank and assigning tokens is the element of gamification of the application to encourage people to actually participate in AcademiChain, to add answers and add questions and build the knowledge base. Right, so actually I can see that Mr. Trout is like cool guy. I can add him as a friend. So I can go send him like friend request. So request has been sent. It's just like Facebook, right? I didn't create here anything new. So I can go to connections and I can see like, oh, somebody actually sent me a friend request. I can check who's that guy. So I can preview, oh, that guy actually asked so many questions. So maybe he's a nice person. He actually add cool questions, and I was able to answer them, and I got tokens. So let me accept his friend request. So if I go to friends now, I can see like Thin Prawn is my friend. If I go to connections, I can see like Thin Prawn is my friend. The same here. Rainbow Trout accepted my request, and we are friends now. So I can go to Mr. Trout account and I can send him message. Hi Trout. Let's send the message. And if the Trout goes to his account, he can see, oh, I got one new message from Mr. Prawn. I can reply, hello P. And sorry, messages. I can see like, oh, I got new message. I have new message from Trout, hello P. So users can exchange the information. They can like build like communities. And like I said before, users can answer the questions and they create some sort of like conversation, right? They can mention each other. They can create conversation. And yeah, that's basically it. Those are basic functionalities of AcademiChain. I'm quite happy with the project. I would like to have something like that when I was a student. I actually finished my master's, so it would be nice to have something like that, especially that we are anonymous, so nobody's gonna judge us. I'm sure like some students would like to ask some questions on a kind of recorded Teams meetings, Teams modules that has been running since the COVID pandemics, but they maybe felt like intimidated, like, oh, I'm not gonna ask that questions. They might think I'm silly. Maybe it's a silly questions. I've been in that situation myself, right? I wasn't sure, like, oh, should I ask that question? It's going to be recorded. Everybody going to know. So I didn't ask the questions, and that's actually was punishing for myself because I didn't get the answer. And I was thinking, later I should ask that answer. I should ask that question. I should add that question, but I didn't, and I feel bad about it. But it's happened to me quite a few times. So that platform would allow me to ask different sorts of questions and get the answers, and we could be rewarded with the tokens. We could exchange something, like for example, I was moving house now and I had to get rid of over 90 books because it was too heavy to transport to send back to my country, or I don't have space in new house, so I have to give away those books on the street. Basically, I put the boxes on the street, and here maybe I could use that application and we could exchange those books. Of course, there is also need for check validation if actually people are not actually doing anything illegal, like for example selling or exchanging PDF files, like digital kind of goods which might have copyrights on them, but that's not very hard to implement, and there always can be somebody to actually check that and validate that. But that was just like demo application to show like the blockchain is totally separate application, which is not like coupled with not coupled with the AcademiChain. Going back to testing and Postman, when any of the marketers or person who would like to try AcademiChain would like to use the Postman collection, which is available through local dev. Here in the local dev, there are collections for all those things visible here in Postman. When somebody would like to use the Postman collection, for example, get our questions is not going to work now, unauthorized. You should go to token and actually generate new token. Just basically send a request, and that token through that script is going to be saved as environment variable. Here there's a token there, and it's going to be saved here. So if we go to request, we can go now and send a request to API, and everything is fine. There's two types of token. One is for like a person, like is required to use login and password. So for example, test user and password. Those are just demo username is a password. There's nothing in production, so I'm not shy to reveal them, right? So we can go here, and the services are using different endpoint, different way of authentication, because they don't have usernames and password. They have client name and client secret. So they sending that that client secret is invalid actually in that moment, because I used different name of the client. But they can go here and they can send, what's the secret? They can send a request. The services got them in actually environment variables, so they can communicate with API through that way of authentication. So not using username and password, just using the different client. I'll show you the client. So client is here in the Keycloak. Let's log into Keycloak. Close, and here's our the clients. So UI using that one. So the users are using that client which accept username and password, but the services using the API client, which is actually using different credentials. Okay, I'm gonna reveal them because that's not the production anyway. So that's the client secret, which should be actually this one. Let me just copy it. Client secret. Let's go to environment variables, non-pro dev 1. What was the name of it? I forgot already. Keycloak client secret. Keycloak client secret, current one. So probably should work now, hopefully. Yeah, it's working now. So the services are actually using that one to authenticate and get the tokens for themselves, right? So yeah, we can use that API to test all the services, and for the Keycloak is there. NLP service, as I showed before, like we can validate the question, We can check the toxicity score of that actually phrase. So if we use crap, like I said before, it will give like high score. The health check, validate question. Yeah, and we can search actually through the embeddings. So yeah, that's quite a few things there. And yeah, sorry for like long kind of demo of the application, but I wanted to show as many as I could. I don't have plan for it. There's so many things happening there, but hopefully I was able to demonstrate the basic functionalities of the AcademiChain, and those functionalities are actually fulfilling the aims and goals of the application, and I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, hopefully that application one day is going to be used by some people, and it will help them to actually get some answers. Thank you very much for watching.